Function notation. This is a very beautiful test problem on function notation. Here we have a question which is based on knowledge. Here we have a question which is based on application and a question based on thinking. Okay. The question seems to be very simple. The question is, consider the function rule. The output is 2 less than half the square of input. Output is 2 less than half the square of input. A. Write the function in function notation. Correct? That's a simple knowledge-based question. B. Determine f of minus 4. Easy, right? C. Find its inverse by reading it in reverse direction. That is interesting. And D. Determine f inverse of minus 4. So we have to explain your answer. That's communication and thinking problem. So make a note of this question, try to attempt it, and do it yourself, and then check your answer. Okay? So here I'm giving you the solution. First, write the function in function notation. So the output is 2 less than half the square of input. Let the input be x, right? Then in function notation we'll write f of x is equals to, so the output is f of x, right, is 2 less than half the square of input. So half the square of input, the output is 2 less than, therefore 2 should come later. Okay. At times I have seen a mistake here. Students will write 2 minus this, then becomes 2 take away that. Okay. So when we say output is 2 less than what? That should come first. Okay. Less than half the square of input. That is how it is, right? Now, to find the value of function at minus 4, what do we need to do? We just need to replace x with minus 4, correct? So we get f of minus 4 equals to half 4 square minus 2, right? So 4 square is 16, right? So we say 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we say, let's say half 16 minus 2, which is 8 minus 2, which is 6, right? So we get f of minus 4 is equal to 6. Okay. Part C. Find its inverse by reading it in reverse direction. Some students don't really understand what is reverse direction. Okay. And it is reading the problem in words in the reverse direction. For example, he says the output is 2 less than half the square of an input. So you got this equation, half x squared minus 2. Now let's try to read this from right side. Okay, and if I do reverse of everything from right side, I will get my inverse function. So first thing what I'm going to do is, here for the function we do it half of the square, so we square it and then do half of it and then take away 2. Now reverse reading will be to the input add 2, so add 2, right, and then multiply by 2 and then do square root. Do you understand? So we'll write f inverse of our x should be, so to the x we will add 2, right, and then we'll multiply by 2 and then we will square root it. Remember, whenever you square root it, you have to write plus and minus. This is important. So at times students miss this plus and minus, correct? It makes sense, right? Because let's say this is a quadratic function, right? This is a quadratic function, and so this function will be minus 2. So it brings 2 units up, down, right? It is kind of like this, right? So inverse will be a function like this. So we have to convert both the units. Do you understand? So now, okay, so let me just draw a line here to give you some idea. Now, the part D is determine f inverse of minus 4. Explain your answer. Now, if I write minus 4 here, what do I get? So f inverse of minus 4 is equals to plus and minus square root of minus 4 plus 2 times 2, and I get plus and minus square root of minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2, and minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. So I get a negative number So we really don't have an answer for this, correct? Negative, no real. So what do you think? Why did we get so? Well, if you look into the function, then what is the domain and range of this function? So domain is x belongs to real numbers, right? And range is y is greater than or equal to -2, correct? So for inverse function, what do you expect domain and range? It will flip, right? So here x becomes greater than or equals to -2 and y becomes all real numbers. Do you understand? So basically, when we were trying to find our inverse function, then this flipped like this. Do you see that part? Do you understand? I'm not drawing it exactly, but trying to show you this is my minus and that is my plus part. That's my square root function. So this square root function, which is the inverse of my square function, has a domain restriction. It is only greater than or equal to -2. Do you understand? So we say since -4 is not in domain, right, of f inverse x. That's why we are getting that kind of an answer. Okay, this is a very important thing to realize. So whenever you find inverse of a function, purposely here we didn't ask about domain and range, right? But we make you think and answer it in that fashion. But by default, you should write domain and range of your function and the inverse of the function. Only then the answer is complete, otherwise not. Do you understand? So here we should include domain is x is greater than or equals to -2, where x belongs to real numbers, and y is all real numbers. Okay, so that's what I wanted to teach you from this particular question. Thank you.